Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and this will be my second time recording this game. OBS, I don't know what happened the first time, but did not record, so we're going to do it again. And Penn State gets a reprieve. They lost the first one 34-20 in what will be a battle of the Quaker State, taking on the 1976 Pitt Panthers, led by Tony Dorsett and Matt Cavanaugh. And we'll be playing this using the hybrid mode, which again is the base mode that the game is meant to be played with. You can also play full play-by-play or quick mode. And a couple of housekeeping things you can see here on the play-by-play chart. Previously, I had you adding manually entering carries here, and I've forgotten about the count function, which my friend of the channel, Jason Stapler, reminded me of, so thank you for that. So here you can just enter the yardage now on the Excel spreadsheet. Ignore that. And you can see here the carries. I don't know why it's doing circular. The carries populate automatically, which will make it a lot easier and a little bit quicker. So it does that on receptions as well. So anyway, we're going to get to it. Pittsburgh won the toss in the original game, so we're just going to have them receive again. They will be +3 on their drive column, Penn State +2, as Penn State is surprisingly weak defense for a Joe Paterno team. And inside plus territory, actually, it's going to get a little rougher for the Nittany Lions. Both teams have exceptional run games. You can see on their run charts here. Even down in the stalemate column, Pitt, has a 6, 2 6s, a 7, 5, a couple of 5s, and of course some 3s and 2s. Penn State has a really solid run game this year. They've averaged 6.1 yards per carry, and you can see here they have in their stalemate column an 8 and a 7 and a couple of 6s. So both teams should have no problem moving the ball on the ground. Score sheets are all filled in, so we're going to start opening kickoff to Pitt. And Penn State's both teams are a C on their kickoff team. Penn State's a C kickoff return. Pitt is a E, so not very good there. So 6C, and that's going to go down to the goal line. 5C on the return, or 5E on the return, sorry, is going to go only to the 10. So Pitt, and their punt return is also in the E column. So Pitt's going to start their first drive on the 10. The good news, they really didn't have much problem moving the ball against Penn State in the first game. They punted late, and apart from that, Matt Cavanaugh had an interception, but they moved very well throughout the game. And, of course, I say that, they get a 98, which is a possible interception, and we go to the interception column on the drive chart, roll of 16 on the D20. So that's only going to be 3 plays, 9 yards. Now, if they do not get the ball intercepted, it will be a kick. So 3 plays, 9, and it's either going to be a turnover or punt. So Penn State starting a lot better than they did the first time. Cavanaugh, his interception rating is 1 to 10. Penn State has a -2 adjustment. So 1 to 8 it's picked, and 17 it is not. So they dodge a bullet there, and Pitt will have to punt on their first drive of the game. And again, their punt team is a B, and punt return is an E for Penn State. So 0B, that is going to be a decent punt of 42 yards. So that's going to take it down to the 39-yard line of Penn State, and a 7 on the return, 7E on the punt return is going to be a -4. So scampering around, Penn State loses ground. They're going to start their first possession on their own 35-yard line. So let's see if Kerry Collins can have a little bit more success than he did in the opening footage, which was lost. 43, and that is going to be a successful drive indeed. So Penn State already starting better than they did the first time. And from the 35-yard line, that's going to be 7 plays, 52 big yards. And that's going to get it all the way down to the 13, our down and distance situation, a 5 on the 2D6s. It's going to be a 3rd and 6, though, from there. So 3rd and 6 from the 13 as we jump into play-by-play mode. And Pitt is expecting the long pass, and Penn State's going to come out, try and cross them up. It's going to be a draw play. So 43, and they're going to get a bonus result. 43 normally would be a stalemate. It's going to get kicked up to the 1-star column due to the fact that Pitt was playing pass. And you can see on the team charts, yellow means the defense is expecting this type of play, so they get a 1 column to their favor shift if those rolls come up. Green, they are not. It gets a 1 column to the offense's favor shift if those plays come up. So regardless. Run play, and the ball carrier is going to be Carter, Ki-Jana Carter. And 1-star roll of 3 for Penn State. That is going to be a 6-yard gain, and that's going to take it right to the line to gain. So we're going to do a measurement, our first one of the game. And this is an optional rule. On 3rd and 4th down, when you get the exact yardage needed on a play, you can play the optional measurement rule. The way that works, 1d20 rolled against Pitt's drive defense, which is 10. So 10 or less, they're stopped just short. 11 or more, it's first down, and that's going to be 18. They have a first down. So 1st and goal actually from the 7-yard line. And Penn State's going to look to go out front. They actually went out on top in the first game as well. It's going to be a running play once again to Ki-Jana Carter. Possible penalty, and it's going to be +2 or double plus defensive result. Roll of 5, and that is going to be a stuff. So we'll come back and check the penalty. First, we will check the stuff result. Ki-Jana Carter, the ball carrier, 9 on the stuff chart for Penn State, is going to be a big -6. So I have a feeling if there is a penalty, and there is not, I think Pitt would have taken the result of the play. So it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 13. Collins back up to the line of scrimmage, and on 2nd down, they're going to try and catch him off guard with another running play. So run play again to Carter, the ball carrier, and a roll of 1. 34 is going to be in the stalemate column. And again, when in the stalemate column, you will add the yardage adjustment, which for Carter is +2 to whatever the play result is. So it's a roll of 6 yards, give him 8. And that gets it all the way down to the 5, so that wipes out that big loss he had the first time. It's going to be 3rd and goal, however, from the 5, so Penn State looking to go in and get into the end zone here. 3rd and 5, going to be a short pass, and 26, that will come out of the stalemate column, as Penn State, Pitt's pass defense was exceptional, so that's not going to be great. That pass is going to be intended for Scott, and a roll of 9 on the stalemate column, short pass. That's going to be a 5-yard gain, though, and that is going to be down to the end zone. We're going to go to another measurement, as again Scott hauls that in. So it's either going to be 4th and goal from the inch line, or it is going to be a touchdown. And again, 10 or less, Pitt's going to stop him just short, and 15, and Scott fights his way in. Touchdown, Nittany Lions race out to an early lead in this one. Extra point, and I didn't even roll that part of it. 59 is up and good. And that is going to make it 7-0. So we'll give, I forgot to erase the touchdowns from the first game. Hold on 1 second. And Collins did not throw a touchdown pass in the first game. He's got one here. And 7-0, Penn State breaks out on top. Pitt back to receive. Tony Dorsett chomping at the bit on the sidelines to get his hands on the ball. 7C is going to be down to the 5-yard line. So from the 5, and on the return, 4. Pitt's return teams are just absolutely horrible. So 4E, it's going to be 14. So 19-yard line for Pitt starting their second drive. Both teams will get 2 drives in the first quarter. Pitt will get 3 in the second since they took the kickoff, and that will be flipped in the second half where Penn State gets the extra drive. So here we go. Pitt looking to climb back into this on their final drive of the first quarter, and I don't know why I keep rolling that dice. 55. That is going to be a successful drive. So from the 19, a roll of 2 on the 1d20. It's going to be 7 plays, 61 yards, so much better than the first time. And that'll be all the way down to the Penn State 20-yard line. Down and distance situation, roll of 10 against a 9 defense. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 from there. So 3rd and 4 as we slip into play-by-play mode for the Panthers and Pitt. Tony Dorsett had a big game in the game that unfortunately was not captured on film. So here we go. 3rd down and 4, and 3rd and 4, that is going to be a run play, so they're going to come right at it. Tony Dorsett, the ball carrier, 23, and that's going to be in the 1-star column for Dorsett. And roll of 2, that's going to be a 3-yard gain, though, so Dorsett is going to be stopped just short at the 17, 4th and 1, and they are going to go for it. So offense stays on the field, and again, if it's 1 yard, we will have a measurement. Here we go. Penn State expecting the run, and Pitt tries to cross him up, and actually, I want to point this out. In hybrid mode, we rolled a 99, which here's how that works. In hybrid mode, 99s go to the event chart only when you roll them on the simulated portion of the drive. If I was playing straight play-by-play, the first 99 rolled in each quarter, if any up to 1 a quarter basically would go to the event chart. So anyway, not the case here because we're playing hybrid and we are in play-by-play mode. However, questioning the call. Now the good thing here is it's a short pass, so they avoid that bonus the defense would have, but Pitt's passing game not exceptional that year. It's going to be in the stalemate column. So short pass, roll of 9 in the stalemate column. That's going to be a 10-yard gain, though, so Kavanaugh picks it up, and the recipient of that is going to be Corbett, who had a big game against Penn State the first time, including an 80-yard touchdown pass. So that gets the job done. It's going to be 1st and goal now from the 7 for the Panthers. And I think they'll ride it in with Dorsett at this point. At least they should. 1st down. And it is indeed going to be a run to Dorsett. 65, though, that's going to come off the defensive plus category. And roll of 5, only a 1-yard gain for Tony. Makes it 2nd and goal from there. So Dorsett, at least in play-by-play mode, only 4 yards on 2 carries thus far. 2nd down. And once again, this time going for a long pass, and I've explained why I just leave the long pass result because we're inside the 20 and the field is compressed, which makes sense because it makes it harder to complete when you're that close to the goal line no matter where the pass is. So I've talked about that in quite a bit of detail on other videos, so that's why I'm leaving it a long pass anyway. All right, so 32, and 32 is going to be a 1-star column for the Panthers. Roll of 9 on long pass, and that's actually going to be a big play 1, so that's going to get the job done. We'll see who the receiver is. 10, and 10 is going to be Jones. So that is going to be a 6-yard touchdown completion to Jones, and Pittsburgh has stormed back. And while I am here, I will give the touchdowns to both quarterbacks. All right, so that's going to make it 7-6, and Pitt with a chance to tie it here in the first quarter. Extra point is up, and it is good, and we are tied at 7. So TD result on that drive for the Panthers, and Penn State looks to receive the kickoff. They scored on their first drive as well, and a 9. That is going to go down to the 10-yard line, and Penn State on the kickoff return is a C. So 7C on the kickoff return, and that is only going to be an 11-yard return. So up to the 21-yard line, and that's where they will start their second drive. Kerry Collins back on the field with Carter and company. Tied at 7 in the waning moments of the first quarter. 92, and 92 plus 2, that is going to be a potential fumble. So the D20 on the fumble chart is actually 3 plays, 41 yards, so that is one of the better ones. It'll be an automatic first down if Penn State keeps control of the ball. So down to the 38-yard line of the Panthers, and fumble-wise, Penn State will lose this on a roll of 1 to 4 as they're 1 to 5, and a -1 is Pittsburgh's adjustment. And 4, they lost the ball. Unbelievable. And once again, Penn State is running into unfavorable dice gods as we end the first quarter. And Pittsburgh takes over on their own 38-yard line after the turnover. And we'll look to take the lead. So Penn State, snake bitten. Each team scores once in the first quarter. And here we go, Pittsburgh. That's going to be a successful drive from the 38-yard line. A roll of 2 on the D20. It's going to be 5 plays, 40 yards. So they're deep into Penn State territory. Down to the 22-yard line. And down in distance situation 7, that is going to be 1st and 10. So we hop into play-by-play mode, and it looks like the Panthers are turning the tide of this one. And again, they will get 3 drives in this quarter. And they're going to come out running the ball. 55, that's going to be a potential penalty. And we'll just go ahead and leave that. I'll go ahead and roll the red die to account for penalties and turnovers and whatnot, even though I usually will not use it. Anyway, that will not be a penalty, so whatever the play result is. 55 is going to be a defensive plus result, and roll of 7 on the Penn State D plus chart is going to be a 5-yard gain. That is, they have a couple of bad results on their defense there, and they were, Pittsburgh, a much better defense against the run, and it kind of balances out because Penn State was much better running the ball that year. So ball carrier is going to be Dorsett, and that's going to be a 5-yard gain down to the 17-yard line. 2nd down and 5 for the Panthers. Kavanaugh brings them up to the line of scrimmage, and 5, that is going to be another run play, but 65 coming out of the plus defensive territory column, on Penn State's card is going to be a stuff. So 15, the ball carrier there is Walker, and Penn State swarms into the backfield, roll of 4 on the stuff chart. That's going to be -2 and a potential fumble. So back to the 19, which will make it 3rd and 7. And same thing for Pitt. Their fumble rating is 1 to 4. You see the red die is an 8, so they will hold on to the ball. And I'm going to quit rolling that so we have some suspense. Anyway, it's going to be a 3rd and 7 instead. And Pitt not really built for this, especially when they roll a 62 on the 2D6. They are going to get the break, though. They call a draw play to try and catch Penn State napping, so they'll get a bonus. It'll kick it up to the defensive plus category instead of plus. Still not ideal, and a 0 in that category, though, and that's going to be a 5-yard gain, so that's going to make it 4th and 2 as they get down to the 32-yard line. And ball carrier on that is Tony Dorsett. So field goal wise from here, 4th and 2, this would be a 49-yard field goal, and from 40 to 49, their max is 48, so this would be a 0 to 36 to be good. And we're going to take a chance and kick the field goal, hope for the best. Kick is up, and that is no good. So missed field goal on that drive for the Pitt Panthers. Probably should have gone for that. But Penn State's going to take over on their own 32, and things going a little bit better for them in this one than it did in the first game. Kerry Collins back on the field. Pittsburgh in the first game had scored on 2 consecutive drives, touchdowns at this point. All right, so we're back out there, and that's going to be a 68. That will be a successful drive from the 32-yard line. And roll a 5 on the D20. That's going to be 7 plays, 51 yards. So another good drive for the Nittany Lions. And they end up at the Pitt 17-yard line. Roll a 5 against a defensive 10. It's going to be 3rd and 6. So big plays abounding, and at least at this point, this was not the case in the first game. Penn State has outgained Pitt. So here we go. Going to be 3rd and 6. Roll of 8 for the Nittany Lions is going to be a long pass. Pittsburgh is going to be ready for it. 34 normally would be in the stalemate column. It goes to the defensive plus, and a roll of 7 in long pass defensive plus. Incomplete, possible sack. And we will roll for the sack. Pittsburgh sack adjustment is 0, and Penn State 1-6. Kerry Collins, and he cannot get away. He goes down. Sacks are all 2d6, and that is a -6. So back to the 23, and it's going to be 4th down and 12 now, and -6 on the. Actually, Collins had so few touches running the ball, he's not even on the chart. So we will actually, we'll just put that down here. How's that? And add that as team rushing. I just need to remember to transmit. I'm not going to do that. All right, forget that. Anyway, as I ramble to myself, this is going to be a 40-yard field goal attempt, and Penn State, from here, it is a 0-33, so they're not much better. Kick is up, and this one's good, though, so Penn State salvages something out of that drive as they take, whoops, I did not mean to do that. All right, so they salvage something out of that drive, get a field goal, and that's going to make it 10-7. Penn State in the lead, and we're going to kick off to the Panthers now. As we reach the midway point of the first quarter, or first half, I should say, or second quarter, first half. And roll of 1, that's going to be a touchback, so Pitt's going to take over on their own 25-yard line. Both teams will have one more drive after this one by the Panthers before we get to halftime. Kavanaugh brings the Panthers up to the line of scrimmage, looking for those good rolls, 27 or more, and no. And this game is going completely different than the first one did, as Pitt's going to be stopped. 5 plays, 18 yards. They get up to the 43-yard line. And they're going to have to punt again. They only have to punt twice in the entire first game. Kavanaugh did throw an interception, and they missed a field goal as well. All right, here comes a punt for the Panthers, and their punt team is a B, so 7B on the punt. And that's going to be a 39-yarder. Down to the 19-yard line, and 3 on the return, and Penn State punt return is a B. So 3B on the punt return, and that's going to be 5 yards, so up to the 24-yard line, and that's where Penn State will start their final drive of the first half. So Kerry Collins, Penn State, nursing a 10-7 lead, and they're going to get stuffed as well. So roll of 10 on the 2D10. They're actually going to get 20 yards on 6 plays up to the 44. And they'll have to punt for the first time themselves in this game. Pittsburgh will get one more drive as we're steamrolling through this first half here. And 0 on the punt, and again, E-punt and E-punt return, so these special teams are equally bad. It's going to be a 42-yard punt, however. And that's going to be down to the 34-yard line of the Panthers. And roll of 5 on the punt return, 5E, and that's going to be a 5-yard punt return. So up to the 39, and that's where Pitt will start their final possession of the first half. And actually, I'm sorry, both teams get 10 possessions, so Penn State actually gets one more possession this half as well. So never mind. I should have actually given Pitt 3 in the first quarter. But regardless, it will all even out as Pitt, Matt Kavanaugh and crew, and he gets a successful drive going. So from the 39-yard line, 74 is going to be a successful drive, at least for the first portion. Roll of 4, and that's going to be 4 plays, 39 yards. So down to the 22-yard line, and 7 on the 2D10 makes it a 1st and 10 situation there as we jump into play-by-play mode for the Panthers. Kavanaugh brings them up to the line, and 8 on first down, 0 to 8. They run the ball a lot on first down, and it's going to be 11. Dorsett, 46, will be in the stalemate column for Tony Dorsett. Dorsett has a yardage adjustment of 1. Roll of 2, that's going to be a 6-yard run for Dorsett. So 2nd down and 4 from the 16. Kavanaugh waits for the play. It comes in. It's going to be yet another run. And 14, they're going to call Kavanaugh's number this time. 15 is going to be from the 2-star column. Good for Matt Kavanaugh. A roll of 7, and that's going to be a 4-yard gain. And that'll be a first down at the 12. We do not do measurements on 1st or 2nd down, only on 3rd and 4th if it's equal to the yardage needed to gain. So 1st and 10, and Pitt knocking at the door. 9, he comes out. It's going to be a play-action pass on 1st down. 35, and 35 is going to go out of the stalemate column. It is a long pass call, roll of 3. And that is going to be 17, but a possible interception. So that will be a touchdown strike. And the recipient of that is going to be Ingram, who caught 3 touchdown passes the first game. Will be an 12-yard touchdown if it is not picked off. Kavanaugh has an interception rating of 1 to 10. Penn State has a -2, so 1 to 8. It's picked, and it is 9. Tipped and hauled in the end zone by Corbett, a 12-yard touchdown reception. So Matt Kavanaugh, his 2nd touchdown pass of the day. And that's going to put Pittsburgh back on top. So Corbett with the touchdown. All right, extra point. And extra point. 62 is up and good, and that makes it 14 to 10. But the Nittany Lions will get one more opportunity before halftime as Pittsburgh set to tee it up. And here comes the kickoff, and 7. All right, 7C, that goes down to the 5-yard line, and the Nittany Lions kickoff return of C also. 8 is the kickoff return, and that's going to go to the 16. Or 16-yard return up to the 21, and final drive of the first half for Penn State as they're going to look to punch it in and reclaim that lead before the half. Here we go. 53, it's a successful drive. 16 is the D20 roll, and that is going to be 5 plays, 36 yards. So they'll have a ways to go to punch it in. That comes out to 57 total, which gets it down to the 43-yard line. Down and distance situation there against a 10 defense, going to be 2nd down and 8. So 2nd and 8 as we go into play-by-play mode. Kerry Collins. And Collins is going to air this out and go deep. 52, however, not favorable. That's going to go defensive plus category and roll of 1. The intended receiver is Scott, but roll of 1, long pass, defensive plus is incomplete, and we will mark that result there. Again, you still have to do track incomplete passes manually, unfortunately. And that's going to make it 3rd and 8 now from the 43-yard line of the Panthers. And 3rd and 8, that is going to be a short pass, so no adjustment there. And 25, that's going to be much better. It'll come out of the stalemate column. So short pass, roll of 1, and this is intended for Ingram. And short pass, roll of 1, that's going to be an 8-yard gain, and that's going to be a first down to Ingram down to the 30, or actually, I'm sorry, it's going to be right at the line to gain, so we'll need to do a measurement again. So Ingram, 8-yard reception, and again, 10, 11 or more, it's first down, and Pitt stops them just short. They're going to go for it here, no hesitation at all. It's the last drive of the half. They have absolutely 0 to lose. So up to the line of scrimmage, Pittsburgh crowding the LOS, and play comes in. It's going to be a run play, and the Panthers, of course, are expecting that. 26 normally would be a 1-star. It's going to kick it to the stalemate column. The ball carrier is Pitts, and no adjustment there, so a roll of 6 on the stalemate column, and that is a 6-yard gain for the Nittany Lions. So all the way down to the 29 as the defense was keying Carter. And Pitts was a ball carrier. That's going to be a first down for Penn State, so they still have an opportunity here. Down to the 29-yard line, 1st and 10. Kerry Collins gets a play. It is going to be another run. 56, however, that's going to come out of the defensive plus column for the Panthers. Roll of 1, and the ball carrier is Milne. So roll of 1 out of the defensive plus column, and that is going to be a stuff. So Milne is going to get met in the backfield, and roll of 1 on the stuff chart, -3. So 2nd down and 13, that bumps it back to the 32-yard line. Kerry Collins waiting for the play, and they're going to try and catch them napping again. It's going to be a draw to Carter. 61, however, Pittsburgh was ready for this. It's going to be a plus, defensive plus column result, roll of 8. And so for the Panthers, roll of 8, and that's going to be another stuff. So Ki-Jana Carter, he's had some tough sledding early in this one. That's going to be another 3-yard loss. So in play-by-play mode, at least, not simulated, Carter, back to the 35 we go, and that makes it 3rd and 16. Carter has only 5 net yards on 4 carries in play-by-play mode, which will, of course, adjust his simulated stats considerably. 3rd down, and Penn State looks like they're just trying to get out of here without any further damage. 3rd and 16. They're going to call another draw play. Pitt is not caught off guard. They get the adjustment, but it goes from defensive plus to defensive plus due to that 64 roll. And Carter, again, the ball carrier, 2. And that is going to be only a 3-yard gain, so it's going to be 4th down and 13 from the 32-yard line. So from this point, 32 yards, this would be a 49-yard field goal. Their max is 46. That would mean 0 to 3 because for every yard over their max, you would take off 10 from the success rate, which is 0 to 33. So we're going to get to show you a Hail Mary here to end the first half, as they have nothing to lose. So the way it works, D20 and the 2 D10s. D20 tells you how many yards the ball goes. D10 is the result. So we'll roll the D20 first. Collins back as time ticks off. And 17 throws it up. That's going to go 57 yards in the air. Reaches the end zone easily, but it needs to be 0 to 8 to be caught. And incomplete. It falls to the ground. And that brings the first half to a close. A little bit of excitement there at the end, but that will do it as the Pitt Panthers hold a 14-10 lead. Going into the locker room, Penn State will take the second half kickoff. They'll get 3 possessions in the third quarter. Pitt will get 3 in the fourth. Here we go. Pittsburgh kicking it off. And Pittsburgh kickoff is a C, so 8C. That's going to be down to the 5-yard line on the return. And on the return for the Nittany Lions, also an 8C, and that's going to be a 16-yard return. So once again, 21-yard line to start their first drive of the second half. Simulated drive portions, 93. That's not going to be good. That's up in turnover territory. So that'll be a potential pick, and the 1D20 is going to be 4 plays, 42 yards. The drive will continue if it's not intercepted. And for Pitt, though, this is what's tough for Collins and company. Pitt has a +8 pick adjustment. Collins is 1-9, so 1-17, and it is picked off. So first drive of the second half ends in an interception for the Panthers, and 42 yards, so that's down to the 37 of Pitt, and interception return from there. Roll of 0, and that's going to be no return. That's where Pittsburgh will take over on their first drive of the second half. So from the 37, Pittsburgh holding a 14-10 lead is going to look to extend that. Kavanaugh and Dorsett in the backfield, and 80 is the result. 80 plus 3, that's going to be a big play run, and that's going to be to Tony Dorsett. So Dorsett breaks into the secondary, and will he go? The roll, 1, Dorsett, 24 yards, just missed a TD scamper. He's hauled down from behind. That gets it down to the 41-yard line. So second half, big plays, Dorsett, 24 yards, and again that will transfer over. So we jump into play-by-play mode now. It's going to be 1st and 10 automatically on a big play. So from the Penn State 41, Pitt looking to extend their lead. It's going to be a run. 45 is in stalemate territory, and the ball carrier is going to be a Kavanaugh, which is a -1 adjustment to the stalemate result. And stalemate result of 3 is a 3-yard gain with the adjustment and a possible fumble by Kavanaugh. Once again, though, it's got to be 4 or less. And 1, unbelievable. Pitt turns the ball over. And let's see if there is a return on the fumble. 4, and that's going to be no return. So Penn State turns the Panthers away. They take over on their own 38-yard line as Kavanaugh coughs it up, trying to get too fancy, reaching for extra yardage there. So 2 turnovers for the Nittany Lions, a fumble and a pick, and first turnover for the Panthers, a fumble, as each team will have 1 drive after this one by the Nittany Lions for the third quarter. As Kerry back out on the field, Penn State from their own 38. And this game has been much different, much closer to the vest than the first game, 63. Penn State, though, they're going to have another successful drive, and 15 from the 38 on the D20, and that's going to be 3 plays, 24 yards, automatic first down. So that's going to be down to the 38-yard line of the Pitt Panthers, 1st and 10 as we jump into play-by-play mode. Still looking for our first score of the second half. Teams up to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be a short pass play, 54, and 54 is going to come out of the defensive plus column. Kerry Collins has not been sharp in this one at all. So roll of 1, defensive plus short pass is going to be an incompletion. And that makes it 2nd down and 10 for the Nittany Lions. Let's see if they go back to the ground game to Carter. And 2nd down, it is indeed going to go to Carter, and it's going to be 54 is coming again out, though, of the defensive plus column of Pittsburgh. Roll of 4, and that's going to be a 1-yard gain. So Carter's had tough sledding. 3rd down and 9 now for the Nittany Lions. Carter in play-by-play mode, only 6 carries, 9 yards. Much different than the first game. So 3rd and 9, Pittsburgh playing for the pass. 11, great roll there, but it's going to be a possible penalty as well. They call a draw play, so they're going to get a bonus. It's going to be a 2-star column, and Carter's going to be the runner. And roll of 8, 2 stars. That is going to be 8 yards, so it'll be just short. It'll be 4th and 1, but penalty 1 to 8, and that is no penalty. So down to the 29-yard line, and that's going to make it 4th and 1, and a decision time. From here, 29, it would be a 46-yard field goal, and that would be 0 to 33. That's right at their maximum distance. They're going to go ahead and attempt the field goal. Good karma for the kicker. Here he comes. Kick is up, and it is good. So Penn State claws back, and first score of the second half. They cut it to a point. It is now 14 to 13. Pitt up, and this will be the final drive for each team here in the 3rd quarter. All right. And here comes a kick, and that's going to be down to the goal line. Pittsburgh, terrible though, their return teams, both their kickoff, well, kickoff's better than punt, I guess. So 6 on the return. It's actually going to be a 25-yard return, so same place as a touchback. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh starts there. Final drive of the 3rd quarter for the Panthers. And here we go. Can they make some hay? 37, and that's going to be a successful drive. Roll of 4 on the drive chart from the 25. That's going to be 5 plays, 39 yards. So good for the Panthers. Down to the Nittany Lion 26-yard line. Down a distance situation. Roll of 9, 9 defense. Going to be 2nd down and 5. Very favorable circumstances for Pitt as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Kavanaugh barks out the signals. And what else? It's going to be a run to Tony Dorsett. 46 will be out of the stalemate column. And Dorsett gets a yard adjustment, of course, to that. And that's going to be a 4-yard run. Going to make it 3rd down and 1 from the 22. Third and 1, and Penn State again stacking the box. They expect Pitt to run here, which they will, 0 to 8, and it is indeed a run play. 15, that would have been a 2-star result, kick to 1. That's still good, though, for the Panthers, as that goes to Whitman, and Whitman plunges up the middle. And roll of 3, that's going to be an 8-yard gain, carrying Penn State tacklers with him down to the 14. I'm sorry, not Whitman, Hutton. His first carry in play-by-play mode. So Pittsburgh looking to extend the lead here. 1st down at 14. And sticking on the ground to Dorsett, 22, going to be a possible penalty, and that comes out of the +1 column. Roll of 4, and roll of 4 plus 1 is going, or 1 star is going to be a 4-yard gain by Dorsett. Do we have a penalty? And we do have a penalty on the Panthers. 18, and 18 is going to be clipping. Oh. So that is a 15-yarder back to the 29-yard line, makes it 1st and 25. So Pittsburgh in trouble here, and an optional rule here, when you have long yardage like that, you can revert to the 2-minute category, and that's what we're going to do. So this will be a long pass, 14, and that's going to be a double star. So intended receiver on this, again I keep rolling that dice, is going to be Corbett, who torched Penn State in the first game. Can he do it again? So 14, and that's going to be +2 category, and roll of 0. That's going to be a big play too. So Corbett from 29 yards out, big play 2. Just about anything they roll should get into the end zone, and that's going to be good for 43 yards. That will be a 29-yard strike from Kavanaugh to Corbett, and that's touchdown pass number 3 for Matt Kavanaugh, coming on their last drive of the third quarter. So Penn State caught sleep there on defense as the extra point is up and good, and that extends the Pittsburgh lead to 21-13 as Penn State set to receive their final drive of the second half. All right, here's the kickoff. That's going to be a touchback, so Penn State from the 25-yard line. All right, here we go. Penn State has had good luck on the drive rolls, and they're going to have another successful drive. It's going to be an automatic 1st and 10, too, with the 2d6 roll of 7. So from the 25, roll of 7 on the drive chart, that's going to be 6 plays, 41 yards as Penn State has only punted once in this game. At this point in the first game, they'd already punted 5 times. So down to 34 of Pittsburgh, and it's going to be 1st and 10 as we jump into play-by-play mode. And what I'm going to do, I know this was a while ago, but for that, to simulate that sack, I'm just going to adjust yardage off of one of the drives there. Usually the quarterbacks will always have be one of the top 6 ball carriers, and just not the case with Collins this year. So anyhow, we are in play-by-play mode for the Nittany Lions, and coming up from the 34, Pitt 34, last drive of the third quarter. And they're going to keep it on the ground, and ball carrier is going to be Milne. 51 is going to come out of the defensive plus category, and so for Pittsburgh, roll of 8 there is going to be a stuff. So Pittsburgh's run defense has been rugged in this one. Roll of 8 on the Penn State stuff chart, and that's going to be -1 for Mill and a possible fumble. And again, 1 to 4, it's lost, and 8, they're able to maintain control of the ball, but it makes it 2nd down and 11 for the Nittany Lions. So 2nd down, and it's going to be a short pass. Collins drops back 36. That's going to be in the stalemate column, roll of 8. And short pass roll of 8, that's good for 14 yards, and 8, that's complete to Scott. So that'll be a 1st down to the 21-yard line, 1st and 10, as Scott breaks a tackle, catches a hitch, breaks a tackle, gets 14. 1st down, Collins back up, going to be a run play to Carter, 21. That's going to be a 1-star result for Ki-Jana. 7-yard gain, and Carter starting to get untracked a little bit after a very rough first half. That gets it down to the 14-yard line of the Panthers, 2nd down and 3. Things looking very good for Penn State at this stage of the game. Yet another running play, and Archie's going to be the ball carrier. 55, we're going to have a possible penalty. It's going to come off the Pitt defensive 1 column, which is going to be a stuff. So we'll roll the stuff first for Archie, and that's not good. That's -6 yards. So defense swarming into the backfield. Is it a defensive penalty? It is no penalty at all. So that -6 drops it back to the 20. That makes it 3rd and 9. So Penn State up against it again, as Pitt's run defense has been stout in this game. So 3, and Penn State is going to call a short pass, so no adjustment. It's going to come out of the 2-star category. And roll of 0, 2-star short pass is going to be, well, yeah, that's a big play too. So big play too, and the recipient of that is going to be Ingram. I'm sorry, not Ingram, Scott. So Scott, so Kerry Collins now pulls a little magic out, and big play 2. This could go. The pass is complete, and Scott, that's going to be a touchdown. So 20 yards out, a touchdown strike. Collins to Scott, covering 20 yards, and Kerry Collins, his second touchdown pass of the day. And we did not give Kerry his interception, which we will do now. And that's also Scott's second touchdown pass. And Corbett has 2 as well. All right, so Penn State, last part of the 3rd quarter, they get back into it, and the kick is up and good. So we're going to head to the 4th, and it's going to be 21-20. Pittsburgh will have 3 drives in the 4th, and Penn State 2, so that will be to the Panthers' advantage as they look to close us out in a nail-biter here, the battle for the Keystone State. And here comes the kickoff, and 7. It's going to be down to the 5-yard line, and the return, kickoff return E for the Pitt Panthers, and roll of 2E is going to be a 12-yard return. So they start their drive on their own 17. As we start the 4th quarter, Kavanaugh. So as we head into the 4th thus far, 324 yards total offense for Pitt, 361 for Penn State. So both teams moving the ball, especially Penn State. And 43 is going to be another successful drive. 16 and 16 inside the 20. That's going to be 6 plays, 52 yards. All the way down to the Penn State 31-yard line, and down in distance of 8 against a 9 defense is going to be a 2nd down and 7. So open play-by-play mode, and Penn State, or Pitt, has just passed Penn State now in total yardage as Kavanaugh brings them up to the line. Roll of 3 is going to be a run play to Dorsett, and 42 is going to be in the stalemate category. Roll of 2. And roll of 2 is going to be a 6-yard gain for Dorsett. And down to the 25-yard line, that's going to make it 3rd down and 1 for the Panthers. Penn State again crowding the box, 63, and that's going to be a defensive plus. Dorsett is the ball carrier. It is indeed a run. So roll of 9, and that's going to be a stuff. So Penn State's defense comes through now. Penetrates into the Pittsburgh backfield. They have a hold of Dorsett. Roll of 1, and Dorsett is going to lose 6 big yards. So Tony Dorsett all the way back to the 30. It's going to be a 47-yard field goal attempt, and max again is 48 for Pittsburgh. So 0 for 46. They're going to go for it. Here comes the kick. It is up, and it is good. Right down the middle. That makes it 24-20 Pittsburgh. Each team 2 drives remaining now as the Panthers run off the field, extending their lead to 4 24-20, and here comes a kickoff by the Panthers. That's down to the goal line, and Penn State, a roll of C. 0 is going to go to the team return card. So you see here on Penn State's kickoff return, nothing flashy. A roll of 7, and that is going to be a 19-yard return. So that's where Penn State will start their first drive of the fourth quarter. They'll have 1 left after this. Pitt still has 2, so the advantage with the Panthers again. And the Panthers defense, outside of a couple of turnovers, has been shredded. And 76, they are going to be shredded further. Another successful drive and roll of 11. It's going to be 6 plays, 47 yards from the 19. Down to the Pitt 34 and roll of 6. Against a 10 defense, going to make it 2nd down and 8 from there. And Penn State over 400 yards total offense now, as Collins would like to put together a methodical drive here on the back of Ki-Jana Carter. This time, though, the handoff is going to go to Whitman, and it's going to be a run play, 42, stalemate. Whitman, he has an adjustment of -1, roll of 9, and that's going to be a 1-yard gain for Whitman. So that makes it 3rd down and 7 from the 33 for the Nittany Lions, as they are on the verge of stalling here. 3rd and 7 and 64. Not a good roll there. 5 on the 3rd and 7 is going to be a short pass for Penn State. And 64, though, is going to come out of the defensive plus column of the Panthers. Roll of 2, and that does not bode well. That is going to be an incomplete pass. Yet another one, and that's going to make it 4th down. This will be a 50-yard field goal, and there is no way they can make this. So they're going to have to go for it here. Early in no man's land, 4th down and 7. And it's going to be a long pass, and that is bad because Penn State is playing that. 36 would have been a stalemate. Instead, it's going to be bumped to the defensive plus column, and a roll of 2 on the Pittsburgh long pass, and that's going to fall incomplete. Turnover on downs. So Penn State, again, doing what they felt they needed to do, and they turn the ball over now, and Pittsburgh on their own 33, and they'll have a chance to put this game away. Two drives left for Pitt, and if they can score here, that will pretty much effectively end the game. 97, though, that's not good. That's going to come a possible interception. 12 on the interception column is going to be 3 and 8, so they'll have to kick, even if they don't turn the ball over. So that was the last thing the Panthers needed at this point. Let's see if they got the pick. And again, Penn State -2 makes it a 1-8 for the interception. And 1 is picked off. It is picked off 8 yards. So 8 yards from the 33. So picked off at the 41-yard line. And the return. Whoops. And the interception return is going to be 5 yards. So that is going to be down. Sorry, it was picked off on the 41 here, so down to the 36. So Penn State, they're going to jump right into play-by-play mode, 1st and 10, because they are in plus territory. And at the Pittsburgh 36-yard line, but you know what? That gives us what we want. Last drive for the Nittany Lions, and Pitt will get one more chance after this, so we could have this come down to the final whistle, if you will, or the final play. And Penn State's just going to look to move the ball on the ground, 1st and 10, and 15 is the ball carrier. That's going to be Archie. 32 will be a 1-star result, and Archie roll of 6. It's going to be a 5-yard gain for him. So Pittsburgh, whose run defense has been solid throughout, This is where they need to suck it up the most, and looks like they might be starting to crack a little bit as that gets it down to the 31-yard line. Here comes a call on second down, and it's going to be yet another running play to Carter. 11, that's plus, and a 6, that's going to be 7-yard gain for Ki-Jana Carter. And now, finally, the Pittsburgh defense is starting to show some vulnerability, as Penn State looking much better in the rushing area. 1st and 10 from the Pitt 24. Kerry Collins up to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be yet another running play. 41. Ball carrier will be Whitman again. 41 will be stalemate, and Whitman is a -1 to that. So that will end up being a 5-yard run still, as it looks like the Pitt defense is starting to tire a little bit, down to the 19-yard line. 2nd down and 5 for the Nittany Lions. Collins, the offensive line, feeling it, keeping the ball on the ground. They're going to feed their running stable, and it's going to be Whitman again, the hot hand. 61, however, is coming out of the Pittsburgh column, defensive plus. And roll of 6 there is going to be a 1-yard gain, so that'll make it 3rd and 4 from the 18. And they do not, well, they can't kick a field goal. They've got to go for it right now. They have no choice. So here we go, up to the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 4, and they're going to keep the ball on the ground. 13, the ball carrier will be Milne. 22, we're going to have a possible penalty. That will come out of the 1-star column. So roll of 9 on the 1-star column. That's a big play 1 for the Nittany Lions. And the Nittany Lions, Milne, this could be a game changer. I don't know why I'm rolling that. I need to roll this. All right, big play 1 and 1 yard. That's 18-yard gain. So we have to make sure there's a possible fumble. So we got a lot going on here. First, we are going to roll for the fumble, and again, it's got to be 4 or less. And they lose the ball. So hold on. Gets it down to the 20. But if the penalty's on the defense, and the penalty is no penalty, so an 18-yard gain by Milne, and he coughs the ball up. Unbelievable. Pittsburgh takes over at their own 20, and what we're going to be able to do now is that is the 3rd turnover of the game for the Nittany Lions. So what Pittsburgh's going to be able to do, taking over at their own 20, they're just going to be able to kill, well, so close and late, if actually they can't kill the clock, say it's close and late. So 2 things in this situation on the last drive. Close and late, if Penn State can stop Pitt, they will actually get a final chance to come down and score an end-of-the-game touchdown. And I'll explain that based on this drive. Now, if Pitt had been up by more than 8 points, they could have just killed the clock, which what we do there is all you need to roll is a 1d20. Roll it here against the result in the punt chart. It's the number of plays and yards that you use to run out the clock. But here, Penn State can still have a miracle Hail Mary type win. So Pittsburgh is going to have to sustain a drive. Now, if they do sustain a drive, then we can go into kill the clock mode. 0-5, though. Penn State's going to stop them. Unbelievable. This is going to be a nail-biter. It's coming down to the wire. 17, they do take some time off the clock, though, as 17 on the punt chart. They go 6 plays, 25 yards, so they get it up to their own 45. So they got some breathing room. It's going to be tough for Penn State, but Pitt will have to punt. So we're going to get a close late result in this one. So from their own 45-yard line, and there's always a block too. That's not going to happen. So 2, Pitt's punt team is a B. That is one area. That's actually their best special team. So 2B on the punt, and that's going to be 37 yards. So it'll be down to the 18-yard line, and 0 on the return means we're going to the team chart for punt returns. Penn State, they do not have a touchdown in there, but they do have a couple of good returns, 5, and 5 is going to be not one of them. That's 0. So, all right, so here's how close late works. So we get the bonus drive because it's within 8 points. You will get automatically 2 plays. This is all going to be in play-by-play mode. So 2 plays plus 1d6. So Penn State has 3 plays to score. God bless them. So this is how this works. They'll go out of the 2-minute column for play calls here. And if they can get at least 64 yards away from the end zone in 2 plays, that last play they can run a Hail Mary. But again, that's a big if. So here we go. 9, and of course it's going to be a long pass, 31 on the, let me jump into play-by-play mode here. I'll just put that as a marker to know, so I know what's going on here. All right, so 31, and it is going to be a stalemate result, long pass roll of 7. So a long pass roll of 7, and that's going to be incomplete and a possible sack. So Collins, definitely not his best day in play-by-play mode. He's only, 4 for 10 in play-by-play mode. All right, so here we go. So first of all, sack, and again, 1 to 6, no adjustment by Pitt. And 19, he avoids a sack, throws it away. It's going to be 2nd down. 2 plays left. Here's a play call, and a strange call from the sideline. They're going to call a draw play. Maybe hope they bust one off to get into a close situation here. All right, so 23 and 23 on the draw. It's going to be a 1-star, and 17. Not to Carter, though. It's going to go to Whitman instead. So 1 in the 1-star column is going to be a 7-yard gain for Whitman. That's not going to do much at all. That gets it up to the 25. So 1 play left. They're not close enough for a Hail Mary. So they're just going to have to call a regular play and hope something spectacular happens off the big play chart. So 2 minutes, going to be a short pass attempt, 33. Of course, we have to have a potential penalty here at the end of the game. Stalemate column, short pass, roll of 5, and that is going to be 15 yards and a possible interception. So we'll give them that up to the 40. And the interception, of course, is bad for Collins because Pittsburgh is a +8. 20, though, he avoids it, but that's going to be the ball game. Oh, we also had a penalty. If this is defense, and 19, we have a defensive penalty right here, folks. 19 to 20 defense. So, holy crap. Let's see what the penalty is. We might get a Hail Mary after all, 3. And penalty on defense is going to be offside, so that's only a 5-yard gain. But because we got up here and the clock is stopped, they're 60 yards away from the end zone now. So they can actually attempt a Hail Mary. So to get it even long enough, it needs to be a 1, 2, 7 or 8 or 19 or 20. Let's see if we can have some drama here at the end. 4, and that's only going to go 58 yards in the air. Will it be complete? It's got to be 0 to 9, and it is incomplete. Falls to the ground. Ball game is over. So that's it. A pretty fun game. Again, it was a kind of a blowout, a dominating performance by Pitt, and the one that the film didn't work on. So 24 to 20 here. Let's go ahead and do our final stats then. You see for the game, Pittsburgh, 47 rushes for 206. Penn State, 46 for 177. Play-by-play mode really affected that. Pitt was tough. You know, outside of that last big play, 18 carries for 57 yards in play-by-play mode. And for Pitt, they only got 11 for 31. So a lot of their yardage came on the simulated drive portion. Passes, Pitt, 13 for 197, so 60 plays for 403. Penn State, again, 46, 177 on the ground, 30 pass attempts for 275, and 76 plays, 452 yards. Let's do our final stats. So, And Dorsett had a big play, remember? So automatic, he was 19-101. And then big play, he had 1 for 24. So 20 carries out of simulated portion for 101 yards. 5 for 17 here. 5 for 22 for Walker. Kavanaugh was 5 for 17, by the way, in simulated portion. Hutton, 4 for 9. And finally, Usyk, 2 for 5. That's not 5. All right, and in balancing, we have 21 yards left over, so guess who gets those? Mr. Dorsett. And we're balanced out on the rushing part. So receiving, 2 for 47 for Jones, Taylor. Corbett. Jones is 2 for 53. And Taylor's going to be 1 for 25. And Dorsett 1 for 16. So here we're going to lose a yard for Corbett. Kicks him down to 2 for 46. And that balances out. So let's do our final stats for Pitt. They really stuck to grinding it out. Dorsett, 27 carries for 140 yards. Kavanaugh, 7 for 24. Walker, 6 for 20. Hutton, 5 for 17. Usyk, 2 for 5. Corbett was the big star on offense. 5 catches, 97 yards, 2 TDs. Jones, 3 for 59 and a touchdown. Matt Kavanaugh went 10 for 13, 197 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I just want to make sure that is right. That is right. All right, to the home team now. Whoops. 3 for 10, that stays the same. No circular reference there. 1 for 4, 1 for 4. All right, so balancing this up, we've got 1 extra carry to give to Carter and minus 16 yards. Those also go against Carter. So we are balanced here. Zeros down here in this column. And for receptions, Collins in simulated mode at least had a good day throwing the ball. Not so much in play-by-play. But yeah, fun game. Close. Took it to the end. Add a little bit of drama at the end. All right, so we're going to be missing 4. We'll take that there. And we are balanced on receptions. So final stats for Penn State. You know, that's how quick it is to finalize the stats. And even if you're doing full quick play mode, pretty much the same thing. So for the day, Ki-Jana Carter, 23 carries, 96 yards. Milne, 2 for 27 and a huge costly fumble after a big play. Archie, 6 for 16. Whitman, 7 for 24. Pitts, 2 for 10. Fletcher, 1 for 4. Ingram, nice day for him, 5 for 96. Scott was a big superstar though receiving though. 6 for 111, 2 touchdowns. Brady, 2 for 34. Archie, 1 for 13. Milne, 1 for 9. Carter, 1 for 12. Kerry Collins, 16 for 30. And this is what I like about hybrid, guys. Collins, you could see in simulated, and this is a D6 roll I do before the game. And you do that off this column here. So he rolled a 3, so he's going to be 64% in simulated for the entire game. So this is what I like about hybrid. Play-by-play, obviously, he was horrible in play-by-play. You see he was only 4 for 11 in play-by-play, including that failed Hail Mary. So that definitely skews the stats, and that's why I say hybrid is really the way the game was intended to play. If you had played this entire game in full quick play, the results here would have been 64%. So you get a little bit, well, obviously you get a lot better variance on the stats doing hybrid mode. You know, so that's just a heads up, and that's why I recommend playing hybrid. But of course, quick play or full play-by-play, whatever your preference is. And quick play is actually very good for, again, simulating other teams on your schedule just to get scores and not even worry about stats. So anyway, 16 for 30, 275, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Very costly day in terms of turnovers for the Nittany Lions. You see they had missed field goal, fumble, and a couple of punts, and of course a fumble and interception in play-by-play mode as well. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. Final score again: Pittsburgh 24, 76 Pitt, and 94 Penn State 20. And again, 403 yards for Pitt, 452 for Penn State, but turnovers killed them. Anyway, this is Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Thanks for watching this, and hopefully this one recorded all the way. And again, I have not heard back from Joe, and I stressed it before. His health is more important than getting this game out at, when we wanted it out, which was Friday or Saturday. So if it's delayed a few days, so be it. It will definitely be out, and I look forward to releasing this and hope you all enjoy it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great night. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you've not, and we'll talk to you later.